Good morning. I'm Anna Marie De La Vega. Thank you for joining us today for Focus. Today, we're going to talk about an issue that's going to face all of us if we stay this side of the grass eventually. It's transportation as we age. And today we have Carrie Brumfield, CEO of Senior Ride Nashville, with us. Welcome.
Anna Marie, thank you so much for having me today. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. So let's look first of all at the situation with people driving and needing a ride as they get older in this area.
Absolutely. I am one of the few that has been born and raised here in Nashville. I've spent my life in the Nashville community, and I have seen firsthand how the community has changed and continues to change. More people, more development, more traffic. It is so much harder for all of us to get around however we're getting around.
Yeah.
Now, thinking about us as Nashvillians as we age, that becomes so much more challenging. Those that are on fixed incomes often don't have the $12,000, which is the average annual expense to operate and maintain a vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Other alternative programs like rideshare, taxi, and MTA services don't meet the need for everyone.
Yeah, if you can't get to the bus stop because of your physical condition, doesn't matter that it's right there 3 blocks away.
That's right. And so Senior Ride Nashville was formed to provide affordable and assisted transportation services to aging Nashvillians.
Okay.
We know that we typically live an average of about 10 years after we stop driving. And so we've got to think critically in those years about how we are going to access the essential needs and destinations within our community.
Oh, my gosh. So we need to start thinking about it now to get prepared, to know if we're going to live 10 years past when we drive, we've got 10 years of trying to find a way to get where we need to get our medicine, to go to the doctor, just to go get out of the house.
Absolutely. And the landscape is changing. As you may have followed the Choose How You Move referendum that passed just several months ago, we do now have dedicated funding that is going to be coming to the Nashville community to enhance our existing transportation services. But that is a solution that isn't helping the seniors today that need rides to their medical appointments and grocery stores. So it's a little bit of both, and we need to be doing work today to make sure that our older adults are aging with dignity and the best quality of life possible, while also creating a future where all of us can age with access and more independence.
So because it is so expensive to get rideshare, taxis, things like that, the issue of trying to help someone get transportation when they're older often falls on caregivers or family members.
Quite often. And so adult children, neighbors, people from an individual's community of faith are often called upon, but not always available.
Yes.
A lot of the folks that ride with us at Senior Ride Nashville that have become members have shared with us that without Senior Ride, there's no alternative option.
Oh, wow.
And so for those that do have families, Senior Ride, we hear from those family members saying what a relief this has been to them to allow them to kind of stay focused on what they need to accomplish day to day and have a kind of that adult-child relationship with their parents rather than, kind of serving as that caretaker for all of those wraparound needs that some of us need as we age.
Yeah, and a lot of life these days is hard enough when you're dealing with your own life and your own job and your own mortgage and your own car payments, and my car broke down, and the kids or the grandkids. And then if you have to take time out of that and go make sure someone else, older person in your family, gets where they need to be, no matter how good your heart, no matter how great your intentions are, it just may be impossible.
That's right. It may be impossible. And like I said, the impossibility often comes from just not having those connections to be able to give that ride to you for free. But yes, we hear so frequently that this is just a game changer for both the rider and their families.
So Senior Ride Nashville does what specifically?
So our mission is to enrich the lives of older adults and engage them in the community by providing affordable and assisted transportation. And we do that by working with drivers in the community, volunteer drivers, which we are in great need of to help get our riders where they need to go. And we also do supplement our driving corps with some paid drivers so that we can maximize our impact.
Yeah. What do you have to do to be a volunteer driver?
To be a volunteer, you would be at least the age of 18 years old, have access to a vehicle, a driver's license, and proof of insurance for your vehicle. You would participate in an online virtual training session with our staff, which you can do on your own time. And you would complete a background check. And then we would once you kind of clear those steps, we give you access to our scheduling platform where volunteers can self-select when and who and how often they ride. So very often we see our volunteers driving for neighbors within their community. They may be going to the same grocery store or maybe they're kind of on the same route, but it can be a really convenient volunteer engagement.
Oh, that's great. I think that works great for everybody.
It's so great. And we have seen so many real and meaningful relationships form as a result. So many volunteers are there to help ease that mobility barrier for older adults. And they're interested in, kind of giving that ride from A to B to as many as they can. We've got some other drivers who have made repeated trips with the same drivers, and they've got kind of their core group of riders that they make really, really meaningful relationships with, and they have become, family to some degree.
Well, I have talked to people about scams, Better Business Bureau, things like that about scams, and older people are often victimized by scammers, partly because they're lonely and they don't hang up when a scam call comes in. They want somebody to talk to. That loneliness can be just so bad on mental health. It's just a horrible, horrible thing.
Yes, isolation and loneliness is something that we face as we age, and those that are over the age of 60 non-driving face depression and isolation at over twice the rate of their driving peers.
Yeah.
And so that's why our volunteers are so critical to really making an impact on the quality of life of their neighbors in their very own community.
Okay. So the mission is to help get transportation for as many as possible. And in Davidson County?
That's right. We are a young and growing organization. We are currently in limited areas within Davidson County with a long-term plan to grow throughout Davidson County.
Good.
So currently we are in West Nashville, North Nashville, East Nashville, Madison, Donaldson, and Old Hickory.
Okay. So I live in Old Hickory. So
beautiful.
That could be good. That could be good. And then the plans are to expand throughout Davidson County.
Yes, as resources and capacity allows. We know that the aging population is the fastest growing segment of our community.
Oh, wow.
And so we continue to see the need outpace capacity. So currently we do have a wait list for our program in Davidson County. We're making a life-changing difference for those that we're serving, and there are so many more that need this service and support. And our plan is to intentionally and sustainably grow until we can meet the needs for Davidson County seniors.
What does intentionally and sustainably mean when you're talking about growth for Senior Ride Nashville?
That means we want to be intentional and responsive to the needs of our community. So we know that people that live in Madison's needs may be a little bit different from the needs of those in West Nashville. And so just listening to and understanding the needs of the riders and how they change year by year is something that is important to us, so that we make our program that is responsive to the actual need and not just what we think they need.
Yes. So gathering the data and making an informed decision.
Informed by the riders, yes.
Yes.
And then sustainably, we want to be sure that this is a program that can continue to grow and thrive. And each year that we are seeing improvements to reduce the cost of money per trip that will allow us to give more rides to more individuals, and just thinking about smart growth.
Yes. Because you can't just reach up and pull money out of the air.
Unfortunately, you cannot. We have tried.
I would not doubt it. If you're just joining us, I'm Anna Marie, and you're listening to Focus. We've got Carrie Brumfield, CEO of Senior Ride Nashville, with us today. So it is important to not be isolated. It is important to make sure that seniors can get where they need to be. And you said how many years past when we stop driving do we typically?
On average, we live about 10 years after we stop driving.
Have you thought about it for your future?
Absolutely. That's why I think sustainably about this organization with Senior Ride Nashville. I think as I don't have any dependents, I don't have children that will one day be adult children that will be able to help me with these particular needs. And so I'm counting on the smart growth that we talked about that is being put in place now that can live on and become better before I need to take that ride myself. But one day I will need it.
And you want to make sure that it's there.
Absolutely.
Do you find, I'm just curious, do you find that some people who you say kind of get regulars that they take for rides, do they go like, I'm going to come get you and then Miss Sue and then Mr. Joe, we're all going to go to the store on the same day? Is that a thing that people come up with?
Currently, it's mostly a one-on-one ride, one driver, one rider. We are piloting new program of different types that may see more carpooling like strategies that will see come to fruition as we grow. But yes, currently it's one rider, one driver. Typically, we see that our riders have kind of their most frequented destinations. So for Martha, that may be to her volunteer gig at St. Thomas, where she was a nurse and she has been a volunteer for many years. For Celia, that may be getting to her 50 Forward and YMCA community center, where she has arts programs, exercise programs, but also that social engagement.
Yeah.
Then we have others that may have ongoing needs, whether it's just medical maintenance, or if, we've got some that we're taking to their regular oncology appointments that are battling cancer. And so all really essential to our health and our quality of life, but also kind of keeping that social isolation and depression in check.
Yeah. So why is it so important to get people out of the house, into a vehicle and out of the house? Because we can get groceries delivered, we can get household items delivered, we can get telemedicine, we can get pharmaceuticals delivered to the house. Why the push from Senior Ride Nashville to get people out into a ride somewhere?
Well, I've got a multi-pronged answer to that question. And I think a big component is going to be independence and how we want to live. So, we still want to go have our hair cut. We still want to have lunch with our friends. Yeah. And there are a variety of other outlets that are beneficial to our quality of life and our state of wellness that can't be delivered to our doorstep via USPS. Beyond that, social isolation is something that is really detrimental to our health, and that not only impacts older adults at rates much more significant than older adults that drive, but also for those of us younger than the age of 60. We are still affected by the negative effects of social isolation. And so this is a great way to make a real and meaningful impact on the life of a neighbor in our community, do a good deed while also making a connection yourself. Mm-hmm. Now, on the flip side of that, we've got some of our volunteers that are just there to do the good deed, and they're not necessarily interested in kind of making new friends to bring home to Christmas dinner. And that's completely A-okay. Our riders just need to get to go where they want to go. So they're thrilled with their volunteers, no matter the personality type.
I'm just riding you, Grandma. I'm just going to get you there. And not all the riders probably are just dying to let me just adopt you as my grandchild.
Well, that's absolutely true. Older adults are people just like the rest of us. However, I will say in my experience, I've had the pleasure of giving many rides with Senior Ride Nashville, and I can't think of a single rider that didn't get in the car with a smile on their face expressing gratitude and almost a sense of disbelief that somebody in the community would see them and respond to their need in this way.
Wow. What an incredible thing to be able to do in What an incredible thing to be able to do in your day. to know that you made someone feel like that. Saw them get into the car with a smile on their face and gratitude in their hearts. You got to go to bed feeling like, oh, it was worth me being on the planet today. I love that. So good for them, good for the volunteers. But if somebody wants to get on board Senior Ride Nashville, we'll talk about the volunteer way in just a minute. But as a rider, what is the path for that?
So call us at the office, look us up on the website. I'll throw my phone number out there. 615-610-4040 is often how we communicate with riders or prospective riders. And we can tell you more about the program. Our riders are all age 60 or above. They live in one of our current service areas. And they would be able to transfer in and out of a vehicle with limited assistance. Our drivers aren't equipped to carry or lift somebody in or out of a vehicle.
Right. Okay, so make sure you can do that. And is there a cost?
There is a cost. It's designed to be affordable. And so that is the reason that we need community support to make this a reality. And the community has made this a reality for the 800 riders we've served since we've launched. The cost is $25 for an annual membership. That's the annual fee. And then $6 for every round trip ride.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. So if we wanted to, as someone who would like to support Senior Ride Nashville, could we pay several annual membership fees? So here's $75.
Absolutely. And we're counting on it. We do already count on so many generous donors within our community, be them, foundations or individual donors or otherwise, that make this service a reality. But absolutely, we would love to tell you more about our program. We would love for you to check us out on our website, seniorridenashville.org, or give us a call. My email address is on the website. I'd be happy to have a chat with anybody who would like to discuss the program.
Seniorridenashville.org. And you have some pretty big names behind you. You have support from a lot of community partners who think this is an important mission that you have going.
Absolutely. We were fortunate to be founded under Age Well of Middle Tennessee's umbrella. They're another nonprofit celebrating their 40th anniversary this year. We would not be here without Age Well of Middle Tennessee. But in terms of funders, we're really lucky in our local community to have the West End Home Foundation, who specifically funds programs for age-related programs.
Oh.
We've got the HCA Foundation, who has been a pivotal partner from the beginning. That's the Hospital Corporation of America Foundation. Ascension St. Thomas has been a pivotal partner. Memorial Foundation, Amazon. There are quite a few others that have made this program and this service a reality for Davidson County residents.
Why is it important to them?
It's important to them because they are not only funding transportation now, they're funding some of these other community programs whose mission is not transportation, who may give food assistance or other types of assistance that could benefit older adults, but without the access to it, it's meaningless.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What are other things that we might need to know about supporting Senior Ride Nashville? Do we have to be a driver?
No, you don't have to be a driver. However, that's one way to make a really meaningful impact and support our mission. We'd love for anybody listening to learn more about us. We're a young organization. Causes that support the aging community are often overlooked and underfunded.
Oh.
And so please, we encourage you as a listener, please check us out at seniorridenashville.org. Sign up for our newsletter. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. Just to stay informed, I hear often from friends and family how engaging our social media platforms are. We've got a great team who keeps the content fresh and engaging, and just become more informed about the need for access and mobility and what it means to our neighbors.
What do you mean the content? Like what kind of fun and engaging content? Like what would that involve? Yeah,
just really it's educational information about, how many people, in our community have the need, how many we are meeting the need for, the types of services or destinations that they're able to access and what it means to them. So personalizing the stories of the people that we're serving to show the community this is the meaning behind what we do. And this is why we need your buy-in.
I need to check that out because I noticed that on social media, there'll be, I think a lot of people don't realize it's a setup. It's like this guy pushed this man down and we won't believe this stranger stopped to help or whatever. And it's got millions of views. It's like there are real needs.
Yeah.
And real people helping to meet those needs in our own community. And then to see and hear about it through seniorridenashville.org, I think that's fantastic.
Real people, no AI generated content. We're not in this for any type of, I don't know.
Maybe you should be. Maybe when somebody takes a little old lady to the doctor, then she comes back and she's doing a backflip or something like that.
Yes. Now, if we catch any backflips, we'll be sure to post it. Volunteer or writer.
I think some people are going like, challenge accepted. You said a minute ago something that really caught my attention. You said that issues affecting older people, seniors, are, how did you put that?
Often underfunded. About 1% nationally, 1% of foundation giving is to senior services.
1%.
1% on average.
And the amount of seniors, is it 1%?
Oh, absolutely not. And I don't have those stats top of mind currently, but the demographic or the age range 60 and over is the most populated, the most densely populated demographic and the fastest growing demographic.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
I wonder if, because Senior Ride Nashville was not founded until kind of recently, less than 10 years, correct?
Correct.
Because we weren't living that long. For generations, we weren't living that long. We didn't have to worry about getting a ride when we were 60 because everybody died at 40. And then our lifespans were getting longer as we had better options for health care.
Definitely. Our lives are longer, meaning that we more often need more medical support during those years and, specific nutritional needs that may not be available on delivery. And really just having that community access and that independence to go where you need to go when you want to go is a factor and a component of this program that is really priceless.
In, quote, the olden days, quote, the sense of community was there because there weren't 200 people living on one block in your neighborhood who don't speak to anybody, who don't speak to each other because they're scared or because they're busy or fences and walls and don't know if there's a little old lady or an older guy who's living at this house down here. We just see it kind of shuttered a lot. Every once in a while, see somebody, a little dog outside or something. We don't know our neighbors, and partly because of our chosen isolation because of fear.
Yes, I think chosen isolation in addition to just a changing world. We're all looking at screens so much more than we ever were in years past, and so we may be tricked into feeling a sense of connectivity, and that is not a true connection.
That is huge. That's one of the biggest things I've ever heard anybody say. We may be tricked into thinking we're connected. Carrie Brumfield, the CEO of Senior Ride Nashville. And if we're spending 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours a day looking at our screen, looking at our phone, this is the world we think exists. Everybody doesn't look like that. Everybody doesn't act like that. It's not all, laughs at the end of the day when there might be somebody, like you said, like 2 houses down, who is 60 or over and is in desperate need of some companionship and not to be socially isolated.
Or maybe they just need a ride to the grocery store that you're already shopping at.
Holy cow, yeah.
And so you can take them on your lunch break or, whenever you're going to the grocery store.
Right.
But this can be really flexible for the driver as well.
Man, that inspires me. I know sometimes when we're taking a walk around our little neighborhood, we live in Old Hickory, and I saw an older lady out taking something to the trash can, and I said, "Ma'am, while I'm here, I'm your neighbor, and is there anything you need to have done?" And she looked so shocked. She said, "What?" I said, "I'm here, and I'm strong, and I live over here, and is there anything you need to have done?" She said, "Well, no, honey." And then she started walking toward me. She says, "But how sweet to ask that. How are you doing?" And we started talking. And I just thought if I hadn't thought to try and do something good, then she would not have maybe had a conversation that day. And it's wonderful. It's a wonderful feeling to get to make even a tiny difference in somebody's lives, much less I'll take you to the store. I'll take you to wherever you need to go.
And I imagine that both of you left that, albeit brief experience, but you left it feeling a little bit more joy, a little bit happier, a little bit more connected.
I agree. A little lighter, like, whoo, hey, the world is good and the world has good.
This is the real meaning to life, is the connection.
You're an awesome person.
Aw.
I just look into your eyes and I just feel like you're so passionate about this. And not just because, I'm going to need a ride someday. I want to keep this going.
Yes.
What do you think? We have just a couple more minutes. What do you think might be anything else? Oh, we were asking about, is it free? Does insurance pay for Senior Ride Nashville at all, or is it just a fee?
The rider's insurance does not currently pay for the ride. So the rider is responsible for the $6 round trip fee and that $25 annual membership fee.
Yes.
If the annual membership fee is a hardship, then we will cover that.
Of course you will. That's fantastic. So that's where you need people like us to step in and go, okay, I can't drive somebody right now. I might in the future, but I do have some money that I was really probably going to blow on dinner.
Yeah, support a rider. Obviously, transportation is an expensive commodity. And so it costs us more than $6 to provide that trip.
Sure.
But it is essential to us that we are, creating an environment that uplifts all of us as we age and really, again, just see that mobility as a key to that quality of life.
Can I ask you a personal question? Carrie Brumfield, CEO of Senior Ride Nashville.
Sure.
When you were a little girl, were you in your room like organizing your toys and going like, now we're all going to get together and we're all going to go do something good? Or were you kind of in your heart a do-gooder, or were you like a little rascal and now you're like, oh, I'm mended my ways?
I wasn't too much of a rascal, especially in my early years. Now come teen years, I was a teen like the rest of them. But I think, I was more introverted, but really kind of looked for the people that I sensed needed a little love, because I felt like maybe that was something I could give, but also something that I needed too. And so that just one-to-one connection, I think has been an essential part of kind of, who I am at my core.
And who a lot of people are at their core, able to give what we needed and didn't get. We didn't get that attention, didn't get that love, didn't get that support that possibly we could have. I'm finding more and more that a lot of people had childhoods that were lacking in some way. And some of them just grow up and continue that with that little hole not being filled. But some go the other direction and try and fill that hole for others.
Yeah.
It's like, it messed me up. It hurt me. I was sad. I was unhappy. But I can put that into your life. And so people are flipping it around and feeding it into others.
Yes, and there are metrics behind this. If you Google it, I don't have the stats at the top of my mind.
Tell me, I don't care about stats.
But the impact on your own quality of life as you volunteer, it is statistically proven that it makes your life better, that you are happier by doing just what you're talking about.
I love it. Carrie, can you come talk to me every week?
Oh, yes, I would love to.
Okay, anything else that I've neglected to ask that you feel is important to add about Senior Ride Nashville?
No, I don't think so. Just again, please, look out for your neighbors. Look for those neighbors that are hauling their bins to the curb and just have a conversation with those that are in your really local community. But thank you for listening to me today talk about this. And please help us share that word, whether you're, talking about us or following us or sharing a story. We need to elevate awareness. We want to give you the experience of volunteering with Senior Ride Nashville and seeing that meaningful connection and seeing that smile when the rider gets in the car and expresses how much they cannot believe that you took time out of your day to come to their house, to pick them up, to take them to the grocery store. And you start at seniorridenashville.org.
Thank you. Carrie Brumfield, CEO of Senior Ride Nashville. We're going to put information on our Focus Facebook page. Please join us again next week. I'm Anna Marie. That's Focus.